What's going on, everyone? So, I want to talk about kind of the improvements that you're seeing with the Lakers organization because I really am genuinely excited for it. Obviously, Mark Walters being the new owner, right? He's leaving Jeannie Buss as well as Rob Pelinka in position for the next 5 years at least, which personally I'm okay with. I know a lot of people aren't. No, there's a lot of people that don't really like that and kind of like get rid of Jeannie, get rid of Rob, and all that stuff. But like, they they just got Luka, right? Rob Pelinka just got Luka, so he at least deserves the benefit of the doubt. Plus, he's having a good offseason. Say what you want about Rob Pelinka. He's having a good offseason. He solved the center position with arguably the best option he could have gotten. He's landed Marcus Smart. I know a lot of people think it's just luck and that he just stumbled into it. But again, like luck is, preparation meets, so again, it's just opportunity, right? So again, it's also his patience. He's been very patient, and the patience has paid off. And I've talked about be patient. But if the patience doesn't pay off, now we have a problem, right? So it is kind of this risky area, and there is this fine line between patience and just being too passive, right? You need to be aggressive when to be aggressive and know when to be aggressive. But here's the thing about Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka loves trades, right? Like Rob Pelinka has made a trade every season except for one. And no one else made a trade that offseason. It was like the worst offseason we've had, like ever, arguably ever. Everyone got traded in the following offseason, or trade deadline. Sorry, not offseason, trade deadline. Everyone got traded in the offseason, right? DeJounte Murray ends up going to the Pelicans, stuff like that, right? Like, so outside of that, Rob Pelinka's known to make trades. So to think that he wouldn't make a trade, I just think history tells you otherwise, right? That if there's a trade to be made, he's going to make it. Like, that's just how it's going to work, right? But beyond that, right, like the Mark Walters impact is really going to come from outside, right? It's not the MLB. You can't just buy a bunch of players and bring in Steph, LeBron, KD, Anthony Davis, and Nikola Jokic with Luka Doncic as your second. Like you can't go crazy like that, unfortunately, right? Be pretty interesting if it could. Also, we've seen the Lakers do stuff like that, and it doesn't always work out. But point is that Mark Walters' money and the growth and development of this organization is not going to come from just like reaching in his pockets and paying for players, right? I do think the likelihood of that Alex Caruso situation is probably won't happen again. We're going to lose guys over the course of especially with the new CBA, right? So like there's going to be players that we all want the Lakers to keep that we're going to lose because they're just going to get overpaid or, it just doesn't make as much sense. But like, if it's money situation, right, where it's like, hey, like we want to keep this guy, we have to pay him $15 million. What do you think? Like I see Mark Walters being like, okay, is it worth it? Yeah, okay, then pay him, right? But obviously, again, if like we pay this guy and now we're deep into the second apron and stuff like that, right? Like, there's going to be casualties, but there's going to be casualties for every team. It's just that there's not going to be intentional casualties, like or unintentional casualties, right? Like players that. Alex Caruso, you obviously should have kept. He was willing to take a discount, right? He was willing to stick around. He just wanted to stay with the Lakers. He won a championship with the Lakers, and it wasn't because you thought THT was going to be there, right? And again, sometimes you're going to hit on some, sometimes you're going to miss on some, but you could have had both. They were just being cheap, right? Like, I don't think we'll get the cheap element of it, right? Like, I think we will, if we let guys go, it's because we have to, because of the new CBA and certain criteria. Right? I don't think the Lakers are just going to let guys go because it's just like Mark Walter doesn't want to pay for this guy, right? Like that's where I think the difference players-wise go. But as far as like building a championship contender and all that stuff, again, like the money's not really going to go there. But it's going to go from the outside, right? It's within the organization rather than on the court, right? You're seeing that they're hiring new, top end, high end dietitians and conditioning coaches. He was voted in 2021 the best fitness and conditioning coach in the NBA and also like Lakers are making improvements around the players themselves, which in return will elevate those players. We saw last offseason. This is where this all began. And this is why it makes sense. So we got the reports, even when Mark Walter officially bought the Lakers, we got the reports that like, hey, just to let you know, this has been going on for years. Right? And this was like years in the making and was just kind of like they were working out the kinks. So I don't think it's a coincidence at all that last year, right? We get this whole like, hey, we're bringing in JJ so he can grow and build with the organization. We're going to revamp our training staff. They go in and they bring in Dr. Sims, who was the track and field for the Olympics, and then the NBA, the Olympics basketball, head doctor of that. Like, so now you got Dr. Sims in here for the fitness and health and all that stuff. He's the director and he's going to operate, and then you revamp and you get like top doctors and you do all this stuff. Like Lakers, just shoveled out a bunch of money, revamped their entire medical team and fitness team and all that stuff, right? And all of a sudden, you fast forward and Mark Walters is now the owner, when he did the same thing with the Dodgers, right? Like, that's where you're really going to get to see the improvements from the Lakers. It's going to be from the outside of things. And Lakers were pretty healthy last year for the most part compared to a lot of other teams. I mean, like, you think of the guys that had injuries and missed significant time, they were all coming off of injuries the previous year. Right? Like, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, guys like that got injured the previous year. For the most part, like, obviously guys miss time. It's how it works. But, we didn't have, knock on wood, any like significant injuries that set us back or anything. So the health was a huge factor in us leading to be the 3 seed, right? So to me, I just think that that's where Mark Walters is going to really kind of shine with this organization. Don't be shocked if in a couple years we start hearing that they're building out a new arena and a new fitness center and all this other stuff. Right? Lakers made it very clear last offseason that they want to be the hub. They want to be a premier, pristine, Lakers culture. You think of like Miami culture and all these other things. Right? They want to be a place that, hey, if you want to have success, if you want to really kind of build a career here in the NBA, you need to be a Laker. Because we're going to put the time, the money, the effort, and the energy into you to build you up and make you the best player possible. On top of that, you're going to get the spotlight and the shine and all the other things that come with being a Laker. You're going to get the nightlife, you're going to get all the other stuff, right? But if you want to come, you want to be the best player possible, you come to the Lakers because that's how you're going to do so. Also, with the new CBA and the way you have to adapt to said new CBA, you kind of need, right? You kind of need to be able to build out and carve out and develop guys, right? You're like, Lakers have not really been known as like the development franchise, right? Like, I'm not saying that they've never, like, Magic, Kobe spent their whole career. Like, there's guys that have spent their whole careers with the Lakers, but for the most part, they're not a team that really develops guys and turns, a nobody into superstars, right? Like, it's not like a normal thing for them, right? Or even just carving out and building out role players. Usually they get guys and then they get kind of good and then they trade them for the stars, right? Like, it's usually how it stacks up, right? Such as Anthony Davis. Or they go and they trust that the Lakers brand is going to lead them a LeBron James or something like that. And it does. It has worked out their entire career. But with the new CBA in general, yes, you have Luka. Yes, you might get Giannis and Jokic and all these other guys. That's great. But you're going to need those waves of quality role players. And you're not going to be able to pay guys the way that you could in the past, right? I believe as we progress in this new CBA, you're going to see the change in contract. You're already kind of seeing it. You're already seeing teams like again, De'Aaron Fox gets a max contract. 2 seasons ago, no one would have said anything. Everyone would be like, yeah, okay. Right? Now it's like, dude, was he overpaid? That could end up killing the Spurs and all that. Right? Because it's the new CBA where you look at kind of the situation with the Lakers, and it's like, they need to kind of have those next wave of players, right? Who's that next? Okay, now it's, these guys, right? So like when the Jake LaRavias and the DeAndre Aytons and all these guys kind of fall off, right? Boom, now you can bring in these guys, or that they price themselves out or whatever. You have the next wave, the Arthur Kalumas, the Adu Theros, the Bronny Jameses, right? Like, and you're developing, building, and growing these players to the heights that you need them, right? That's where I think that this is where I think the Lakers are going to kind of continue to grow, develop, and thrive. But as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.